So, welcome to the Dungeoneers of Depravity. I'm Jason Klein. I'm your resident DM as always, and welcome to the recap episode, where hopefully we catch you guys up, and we actually have our third player this time. I'm so happy he got to join us this time.
We're so proud of you.
Real quick, just to do a catch up, what I was explaining last time is over the course of the events, I established what the world of Perseus is, Emfral being the kind of architect town of building airships and magical equipment, and how our heroes met each other. I believe I left off last time where they had met Dargo and Kemp, and I wanted to kind of progress that a little bit more to let any of our viewers get more of a handle on this thing that we started. After meeting Dargo and Kemp, they explained to the party members that Dargo has a contact that is looking to get Aether, which Aether comes in two forms. It's a magical stone that before it becomes a crystal, it's kind of like liquid magic. You can use it as a power source, but when it's in a crystal state, it's much more powerful. This is typically dealt out from the city of Emfral out to the Sky Cities first, between the Dragonborn and the High Elves. Because back in the day when everything went to hell with the convent taking over the world, this was a thank you from the populations that the Dragonborn and the High Elves got the first pick of this resource so they could continue to patrol the skies and keep the city safe. Dargo has a contact that's interesting, gained some, and because Dargo enjoys history, he actually found out there's a city of there's a section of the city that has an untapped cave system because it was in this scroll that was tucked away in a library, and when asked about it, he found out no one knew it was really there. So he talks to the party, and the party agrees that for a couple magical items and some money to help them mine and refine this stuff. They go ahead and separate from Dargo, who says he needs time to prepare, and they go ahead and explore the city. They do a little bit of shopping and actually partake in a couple of bar fights that if I remember correctly, who was it that joined in? I know Fweck didn't join in. Palisade,
it was just me
who joined in, right?
Yeah, so it was sort of like a fight club sort of thing, people placing bets on brawls, but a little more official than just bar fights. So I volunteered and I acted like I was this inept piece of garbage, and fair, we are relatively low level. I acted like I was worse at combat than I was, and I had Null placed bets on me as I entered combat, and I lasered the guy.
It was great. It actually worked really well. After they finished, they made their bets, they won their money, they got it, had a couple drinks, went about their day, and ended up back at the inn. Once they got to the inn and slept for the evening, they had some interesting dreams. This is where Palisade actually really kind of delved more into things he didn't really want to with Asmodeus a bit more.
He delved into my ass.
He wrapped you up. He got into some bondage stuff with you.
Palisade is apparently not into that.
No,
he did not establish a safe word with Asmodeus beforehand, so there was nothing.
You don't like psychic flaming barbed wire wrapped around your body?
No, not a huge fan. Apparently not. It's not something he'd tried before, but he has just established that he's not into it.
Null, if I remember correctly, also got a peek back at some of the old events that led to him escaping from his family. Mm-hmm. And he got it from a viewpoint he hadn't experienced before, so there's that little thing. He didn't sleep very well after that, and everybody met back up, and Dargo said, hey, are we ready to go? And they proceeded out. Through a little bit of trickery / intimidation, thanks to our resident giant, Fweck, they were able to get past the guards and opened up a passageway behind a wall. Dargo ended up breaking it down, and as the party adventured in, they were attacked eventually by this seething kind of mold abomination that had formed a barrier behind them. and kind of removed itself into this giant 20-foot monster with 4 legs and 3 arms, and just kind of horrifying in all aspects of looking at.
We could have taken it.
Kimp ended up being devoured by the thing before it separated itself from the wall. Dargo got very angry and proceeded to launch a fireball spell that leveled the cave. As it caved in, our party ended up finding a part of the floor that opened up, and seeing as there was nowhere else to go, they couldn't move forward, they couldn't move backwards, both exit and entrance were blocked. They followed in and found a portal that was hidden in a cave that was covered in aether crystals and kind of an aether pool surrounding a floor that actually had a series of inscribed magical symbols. Kind of poking at and messing around, they figured out, we don't know where else to go, and they went through the portal and they found themselves in another room where there is a giant skeleton on the floor, and approaching it, the resident blue deity that they've come to learn the name of, Cadmus, appeared and said that he had information from them. And that's where I'm going to stop the recap, because I want to finally introduce our third player here. Go ahead, DJ.
Hi, I'm playing Null, the Growl Elf Puppet Master. Should I read off my background as I got it typed? Or
if you really want to get more into it, because Fwet gave a pretty good backstory of what he is, including his shenanigans and finding out, wow, I'm a monk. Palliser gave his introductions of slaughtering his fellow warlocks.
Jeez. Okay. I won't go word for word about my background, but I'll give you the highlights. So, come from underground city, Runeck. Mother died giving birth to myself and my twin brother, Corfel. Sister became the new leader of our house. I was never really good at any physical combat or any combat in general. So I became good with my hands. So they put me into making crafts, like making tables and chairs, doors and whatnot. No, there's no Vegemite there.
There's no Vegemite.
There's no Vegemite.
Salty.
It comes from a London.
Nobody likes it.
No one likes it.
Vegemite's fucking disgusting.
So
Nasty.
So me being a good craftsman, and my brother with a quick tongue and very smart with the money, we opened up a craftsman shop in the Underdark. So one day while I was working on a chair, the actual merchant's house came to pay our shop a visit. I never was any good in combat, but I can sense when magic was about to be used. And at that moment, I felt a very cold blast hit me like an ox. I got sent flying backwards, and I blacked out. Yeah. It's a very well-known background as the chair builder.
Yeah, everybody starts as a chair builder. Come on, man, be creative.
What are you trying Jesus over here, you carpenter?
A little bit. When I woke up from being blacked out, the
3 days later.
Yes, 3 days later. When I woke up, the shop was on fire. The store clerk was impaled. My brother was missing. I quickly ran out the back, grabbing nothing but a pouch of gold and a cloak. And out in the back, I saw 2 people in the same Merchant's Guild cloak, and I knew, oh man, they must have left someone here to get me. So what I did was I saw a mannequin that belonged to the tailor. of the store next to us, and I grabbed the mannequin and threw it at one, thinking I'm going to throw it at one and tackle the other. What ended up happening was the puppet came to life, or the mannequin came to life, rammed one into the wall, and punched the other in the face.
It's
He waved an inflatable arm flailing
Puppet
two man.
slam.
He waved an inflatable arm flailing two man.
At that point, I made sure the deed was done, making sure they couldn't rise again, and ran towards my home. But I didn't. I just turned on our street, and I could see from a distance the house ablaze. So at that point, I turned with my back to the flames, and not knowing the fate of my brother or sister or any of my family in the house, I ran towards the surface, trying to make a living.
OTS theme in the background.
Underdark, a documentary.
Fucking Bluebird plays.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we officially have caught everyone up at this point, if they're watching this episode and watched the previous episode, on who each of you are as story goes. Now, at this point, we don't have any questions because we haven't had any comments yet. Not that
I have a question.
Shame. Shame.
Live. Somebody's been commenting Fweck is fucked. I don't know who, but they've been doing
Really?
it.
I haven't
It's
seen
me. I lied.
Oh, you're a shithead. So, all right, Palsier, Eric, question. Go for it.
So I did have a question. You are always referring to the three of us as our heroes when you refer to us as a group. But we are, in fact, a 14-foot tall drunk thing, a creepy ventriloquist, and a servant of Satan that shoots lasers from his hand. I don't think heroes, really.
Well,
Hold on. We did try to save the family.
Okay.
We did try to save that family,
first off,
and they died.
you guys
But-
are being a Satan worshiper, a dumbass, drunk, happy-go-lucky guy, and an escapee from an under.
I'm a good guy.
You guys have actually done a lot of good shit so far. You haven't done a lot of shitty things to people. So, as far as right now, you're kind of sitting at a chaotic
Yo,
alignment right now.
we're Ed, and Eddie.
Oh shit!
Oh shit.
Suicide Squad, but
Oh
better.
no!
We're Ed, and
Hey
Eddie.
guys, let's be real. It's still a better romance story than Twilight. So,
Oh, God.
win.
Null and his puppet is a better romance story than Twilight, for
All right,
sure.
no, it's really, to be honest, the big reason is
Suicide
because
Squad,
it's
better
better than just
plan.
saying. I could just say party. I could say group, but I feel like if I keep using one thing over and over and over again, I'm gonna sit there and go, how many fucking times have I said this? So I could call you if you want to come up with an actual like party name to call yourselves. Feel free. This is up to you. Traveling Band of Dicks. The Traveling Band of Dicks found themselves.
No.
Despite me putting down that this is not a family-friendly show, because I do make sure before I post this on YouTube, no, this is not meant for children for good reason.
Yeah.
Unless you're a cool fucking
The
parent.
Aether Wall.
The Aether Wall.
You guys are the narwhals.
No, the Aether Wall.
The
The
Aether
Aether
Wall.
Flying the Aether.
Narwhals, they're blessed by Aether.
The flying launchers. Not bad. Not
I
bad.
mean, I could go with the three
I got it.
amigos,
We
but
can
I feel
be
like
the-
that's been done to death.
Oh, we probably can't be that
No,
one.
you
That was
cannot
probably-
use that. Fuck off. The Zwei.
Die zwei Freunden. It's just the three amigos, but in German.
The Three Amigos sounds
The
way better.
apathetic
By the way-
fluffers.
That's two amigos, and I wasn't counting the puppet.
True.
It would be
God.
Die
No,
vier
if you guys
Freunden.
actually come up with a merry band
Club
of
Seal.
like, a name, sure, I'll call you it. As
I
long
like
as it's
Club
not
Seal.
Like, I'm actually genuinely surprised that you guys called your ship the Aether Hammer as opposed to making it some like wackadoo name. So I'll give
I mean, give us
Change
time. That
Yeah,
can always be
now.
changed.
It's the
flying
Aether Peak.
fucking boat.
Big ass boat.
Big ass
Just put
boat.
BAB on the side. Big ass boat.
We call it the Bab.
Bones big ass coat Malone.
Okay.
All right. So going forward, DJ, what's your question, bud?
I don't have a question.
Oh, I thought you said you had a question. Never mind.
He didn't raise his hand.
I did not.
That's true. Okay, all right. So that being said, I will throw into this. We will have a fourth member potentially. Aaron and DJ both know him actually really well. Eric will be the one that's like, "Who is this guy?"
One could say intimately. All of us.
Oh, big, yeah.
Well,
big
let's
time.
see. He spooned you. He spooned you. I spooned him. So there was a fight, and I won.
He's the big ass spoon.
I mean, let's be real. That's two big ass spoons.
It's like a shovel.
Yeah, fuck the both of y'all.
So that being said, like, oh yeah, and as long as we're going over like previous adventures, so yeah, Aaron, you missed only a little bit of the last, what was it, like 15, 20 minutes that he was gone.
Yeah.
They ended up fighting a nurse skeleton, by the way, instead of a spirit. It was a big armored, shield-toting skeleton that frightened the shit out of them.
You were no help.
Yeah, your character was
Not
there,
bad.
but you did nothing. You were meditating in the avatar state, I'm going to say.
But hey, man, I gotta go to sleep. I need a fucking nap.
You basically looked around and went, you know what, I don't like ghosty goos.
You know what?
Out.
You know what? For that specific reason, I'm gonna write narcolepsy into Fweck's story.
Oh,
Like,
God.
Advanced
I would be
narcolepsy.
careful with that. I will apply that if you do that.
Well, no, I
Just in
like,
case you
no,
gotta
I
dip
mean,
out
like,
early.
just to have like something for like, oh, why did he just fucking leave? Oh, narcolepsy hit.
The giant
just
fell
had-
onto a table and is very, very
Just had
happily
to take a
falling
nap.
asleep.
What's wrong with it? Oh, nothing. He just falls asleep sometimes. But we're about to fight.
So yeah, they did that, and after killing it, they also they found a journal that revealed that yes, the Duke did live there, but didn't really give a timeline of when he was living there. And
Yes.
two, there was a leader of the guards there, and the ghosts that you guys are meeting are probably previous guards that lived there. Outside of that, though, there's a general feeling of there's things not being talked about. Yes, you've been. That was a ghost eviction, Eric. Like that, I think that's about as evicted as you can get.
Yes. So this recap, of course, as always, brought to you by Nameless Whiskey, because we have no sponsors.
Yes, finally, not getting banned. I will allow Nameless Whiskey. Nameless Whiskey. This is brought to you by Nameless Whiskey.
And Cheerios.
Yo, we should make a whiskey and call it Nameless Whiskey.
Just call
Oh
it
my
Nameless Whiskey.
God.
Called Nameless Whiskey.
It's brilliant. And then we can be our own sponsor.
Brought to you by the makers of Nameless Whiskey. It's us.
Brought to you by, I don't know.
Come get Blackout with some Underdark.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. I like the slogan.
Well, I mean, that was inspired by the fact that you decided to go blackout mode and fight the bar.
No, he didn't fight the
That was
bar.
a
He hurt someone,
misunderstanding.
and someone took it the wrong way.
I didn't mean it.
He's just a big, lovable 14-foot tower of terror.
That then turns into when buxom, attractive women pet his head into a big cat, apparently.
Is your quarterstaff like 10 feet tall?
No, it's like a toothpick.
No.
No, I would assume
Carries
it
around
is.
a Louisville Slugger that's the equivalent of a straw.
Yep. Have you guys seen the big Louisville Slugger? I know Klein has, because
Yes,
I know
I
we
have.
drove past it when you were up there. It's like that, but it's still like a fucking toothpick.
Okay.
So that being said, anything anyone else wants to contribute, or should we get ready to tie this one up?
Yeah.
I can give a theme song preview if you guys want to hear it.
Ooh.
It's going to be a cappella.
Oh no.
Acapella.
All you ladies pop your pussy like this.
All right, Mr.
Boats and hoes.
Now we're getting banned.
We're definitely getting banned.
No, so the current plan is to come in with like a guitar. It's like and then I come in and I'm like, we are the Dungeoneers of depravity, disregarding all sanctity. They'll tell our tales for eternity, for we're the Dungeoneers of depravity.
I
I like it. That's not,
I'm gonna have a
fucking down.
three-part harmony there at the end. It's gonna sound sick.
Which is gonna be
Let me
you
get-
and you
Yes.
and you
Yes.
Starring
my
Eric
drums.
and Eric.
with Eric on lead vocals and backup vocals by Eric and drums by Eric and guitar solo
Eric.
by Eric.
Good dude. Bye.
Produced by Eric and Chris the Geek.
Chris the Geek.
Well, because Chris is helping him with the actual like audio settings and everything.
Yes,
Just
so
like
I have to
edits
send
our
him all
videos.
the.
Which
Yep.
once again, thanks Chris for helping out with the editing later.
Yeah.
You are awesome and probably attractive, even though I've never seen you.
By the way, guys, I've been talking to Boss, and he actually is getting close to having the banner done for us as well. It's going to be this cool shield with a like old kind of runic sword behind it, and then it's going to have a banner and some ivy around it. So
yeah.
that's going to be the banner that's officially going up, and I'm going to move the Dungeoneers of Depravity to our actual like image.
Yeah.
And then his wife is actually working on some just like goofy art for us to post up on the other social media. She said she might actually make some, if you give me like a better description of what you would like your characters to look like, I could actually move that along and she could come up with some like little chibi goofy anime looking characters.
Yes, 100%. Super down. Sounds amazing.
Yeah. That's the other thing. I was like, oh, there was something else I wanted to talk about. What was it? Oh yeah, art projects. And
I'm thinking
glad
like
you
a
brought
tall,
that up, Eric,
skinny
as far as oh god, there's a dog.
It's my new puppy.
Is he our
This is my
mascot
puppy
now?
era.
I guess so.
She, I should say. Can we make
She.
her our mascot?
Yes.
Everybody likes dogs.
Oh,
Her name is Era.
Fuck.
Your dog is old as fuck and a shithead.
Why can't you be cute?
Say hi. Hi.
We love you, Jack. Don't let them dissuade you.
Yeah, I love him. He's a
I already love that puppy more than I love your shithead dog.
Good.
I already love that puppy more than I love you.
I mean, yeah, I hope so. It's fluffy and cute.
So the puppy's name is Era, and she is named for one of my favorite bands. If you haven't heard of them, check them out. They're ERRA Era. And they are
Just like promote the show we're trying to produce.
dude, they're so good. You gotta listen to them.
Oh my god.
Great
If you
love.
love puppies and metal, you'll love Era.
But you should be loving us. Like you should subscribe, like all of that for
Yes.
us.
Like,
Also do that.
Is it like 4 white dudes and 2 of them are bald?
Yes, and my friend Brent has a crush on the lead screamer.
The lead screamer.
Yes,
Scream.
he's the lead vocalist, and like the clean vocals are done by their guitar player, who is amazing. And it sucks trying to. So like I went and saw them in Denver, and the altitude is crazy here, and so he couldn't breathe the whole time basically. And he was super
Fun!
pissed about it. He was like,
great for
"How the fuck you
screaming.
guys
I'm
breathe?"
sure the inability
Yes.
Why do
to
they-
breathe helps.
Why
with
do
that.
metal bands even do concerts in Denver?
He was just like, after one of the tracks, this was the singer / guitar player who does the clean vocals. And he was like, "How do you guys fucking breathe here?" I was like, "Sorry, man."
Yes, because you have control of
It's an
sea level
acquired
and
taste.
elevation and all that. Complete. Yeah.
I do actually, but he didn't know that I had control specifically.
Oh.
No, I control all that.
Eric, you
slow
want to
guy.
try to give some detail on anything you know about this one shot, a little bit more, not only for myself,
Yes. So
and then our audience?
sure. So we are currently going to be doing a one shot. It's still Friday, right?
Yes, it'll be Friday.
I'm not
same
crazy.
time.
Okay.
I might be a few minutes late, but we've done that before, so.
Mhm.
Unbelievable.
I know.
This guy here. It's no wonder I'm taking over as the DM. He's so irresponsible. So, yeah. Aaron, our resident Hot Pocket, is going to be in on this action. We're also going to have Chris, who is the guy helping with the theme song. He's building a character. My friend Luke, who no one has met, is going to be in on it as well. He's running, from what I understand, he is going to be trying to run a Druid Cleric multi-class. He's going to be running crazy heals, so you guys don't have to worry about healing. But yeah, it's going to be good. We're going to try and run it. Yeah. We're going to try and run it. Right now, the tentative level is somewhere between probably 6 or 8.
Okay.
And this is actually part of the custom campaign that I used to run. And I am pulling this directly. It's a dungeon, we'll call it for now. And it was actually a custom campaign that I ran a while back. And this is just a small snippet of it. And you guys should have fun. There's some shenanigans to be had.
I am looking forward to it because I haven't been able to play a character forever.
I haven't been able to DM in forever, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, good. I'm glad everybody's having fun. And I look forward to showing you guys the hat and shenanigans I'm going to pull at the very beginning of this.
The hat?
Oh, yes. You'll see.
It's all in good times.
Don't worry.
That hat gives you -2 to Constitution.
It gives me +5 to charisma.
Glass cannon.
And +10 to America.
No, it's a fedora.
Plus
It's a
10 to your America
if it
and
was a
chomp
fedora,
stats.
I would immediately grow a neck beard, and I would get -20 to charisma.
Well, no. It's not. It's a Freddy Krueger fedora, okay? It's
So I'm
not.
murdering teenagers.
If you want to, hey, that's you.
+3 to chonk modifier. I like it.
Not
Or-
shock modifier.
Indiana Jones.
The most OP stat in the game, the chonk modifier.
It kind of applies to everything because it makes it
It
more
does.
chonky.
Yeah, it applies to charisma. He's like, oh, he's just a big old chonk.
Applies to Constitution. Oh, he a big chonky boy.
He thick. Damn, boy.
He's thick. That's
That's
a
a
thick ass boy.
Boy.
Oh no. What have we done?
All right, guys, that's probably a good enough place to call it.
At that point, at the outcry of thick ass boy, I think it's about time to probably call it an evening.
Bring my man
Maybe.
a hot pocket.
Maybe.
He just wanted a hot pocket. Don't lock him
Tell
up
me
for
with the
that.
hot pocketness.
Fuck that. He needs to be freed.
All right, guys. On that note, then, once again, we are the Dungeoneers of Depravity. If you've been watching, awesome. If you're going to watch later, even better, because then it'll be edited and we'll probably sound a lot better and look way more handsome.
Yes.
If
So,
that's even possible.
on that note, I'm Jason Klein. I'm signing off.
Swag goody.
Cheers.